What is up, my YouTube family? It's Prince Simba back with the heavily anticipated, long-awaited Season 8 rank guide for Olympus. So we're finally here. I don't want to waste too much time, so we're going to get into this. This video is going to be split into 5 parts. We're going to go over the playstyles, the best teams / legends to pick for this map. We're going to go over the gun meta for this map. We're going to talk about 4th, Olympus as a whole. And 5th, I'm going to give my hot take about this whole thing that we're calling this split on Olympus. So remember to stick through the end. So remember, guys, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you want the latest video or live stream. So remember to stop by those as well. Say what's up. They're a lot of fun. Hope to see you guys there. But without further ado, let's dive into this video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is playstyles. Luckily, being on Olympus and not on KC, we can have more fun. We can play a variety of different ways than just the maybe camp, try and win the game, get your kills late. That was KC. Here, the third parties are there in certain places if you fight, but if you're smart, third parties aren't really that big of a deal. You can really take isolated 3v3s, and as long as you guys don't get like rolled, you'll be pretty fine. So you can really, I think, play a variety of ways. You can play full edge, so you're just edge fighting the whole time. You don't really worry about rain, you just fight on the edge. If you get into end game into a good spot, good. If not, you know, you're playing for kills at the end of the day. I think that really works. There's only a few zones that really end up on like very high lows drastically that really could punish you, but for the most part, especially if you have good movement legends, like you can play edge all game and you'll be pretty fine. You can also, you know, play the mixed, where it's like you fight a lot early, or you drop and you contest, get your KP there, and then maybe about like the 8 squads left, you try and get zone. That's also a perfectly natural way. Another one is a team that just plays kind of smart, maybe tries to third here and there, get some kills, you play kind of freelance, and then again, try and get position late, you'll be fine. The playstyle that I found that didn't really work, or didn't really get you a lot of KPS fast, or like consistent RP, felt the immediate, like, I don't know, classic traditional Apex, which was hit beacon and go straight to end zone. I feel like with people and this map being so open, and sometimes people are very far away, sometimes they're really close up, it feels, but a lot of times it feels like people are very aggro on Olympus. So if you do have center position, multiple teams will try and ape you for that spot early on, and you just kind of get killed. So I did feel like that was a thing, and with Watson being the best defensive meta on this map, and her still being kind of frail, not really being as strong as I thought she would be, you know, it's not really good to kind of sit so long in a center zone. But I think a very free flow, getting your kills, a lot of movement, jumping around, having fun, getting your KP, rotating a little bit more late into the game, I think it's a very good play style. Or you just never care about rotation, you just get your kills, are also great play styles. So I think it really allows for a very mixed play. You're not forced into one certain play style that works. There's multiple ways that work on Olympus, and I think that's just step one of us enjoying this way more than the last split. So that's really what I think about the play styles. So now, my second point is going to be the best team comps and legends to play. So the team comp that I found the most success with, as also a very balanced team that I think works very well, is going to be Octane, Jibby, Bloodhound. Obviously Octane, those jump pads, and Olympus being so wide open, getting in and out of fights is a great thing. Olympus doesn't have the problem of third parties so much as Kings Canyon, but again, very wide open field, you need to cover ground, you need to get to some place, or get away from some place. You really want the jump pad, you know, you just go. So Octane is probably the best movement legend right now for that on this map. And then we move on to Jibby, I think the defensive legend that has kind of just taken over, as sort of was predicted, but not really. I mean, the dome is just amazing on those wide open fields, those tough rotates in fields. You can just use the dome to re-heal and kind of wait it out to kind of keep moving. You can use the ultimate to section off areas or push teams away from you. So the ultimate, the defense, the quick res are all just great for keeping your team alive and healthy. And then Bloodhound's knowledge, from the beacons to the scans to the ultimate, all of that. So I think it's a very good mesh of abilities with the movement of Octane, the defense of Jibby, the knowledge that you can gain from Bloodhound. I think it's a very balanced team that works for anybody. So if anyone's really struggling to figure out a team for this map, I think you can really go with either of those characters. So that's like a very complete team, and now I think you can also pick apart, I guess, depending on your playstyle. So if you want to go more aggressive, you can really switch out Jibby for Horizon, or Wraith for either of those. So either of those two are very viable. A more like hipster pick would be like if you want to play Pathfinder, if you're really good at Pathfinder, you just really like Pathfinder. Pathfinder also kind of works because the zip lines are very good, especially like on areas like Rift or Bonsai, stuff like that. The zip line's not too bad. So things like that, those are really the legends that I see viable. Not that every other legend is really bad on this map. Obviously, we've talked about the really, really bad ones. But there's a few others, but these would be the legends I would really stick with if you're trying to pick a team. And this is not really solo queue, though I would tell you out of that handful of legends, that is where I would go with if you're solo queuing as well. But we will have a future video on solo queuing, and I do have a short that covers solo queuing, so go check that out, guys. But this is really what I have for team comps and the best legends for this map. Now on to the third point. Third point is going to be the gun meta on Olympus. So, gun meta. Olympus. What is it? Olympus, like I've said over and over, dramatic high lows, very wide open areas. You have to be running a long to mid-range gun. Whether to at least 2 guys on your team, but usually at least everyone needs to have a gun they're comfortable with shooting at mid to long range. Whether that be a Hemlock, a Scout, a R301, a triple take, a Sentinel, a charge rifle, all these guns have to be run. Basically, the sniper meta is a lot heavier on this map. The longer range weapons are going to be great for this map, so even 30-30, guns of that nature, you're going to have to be running them. Obviously, the Spitfire, you can throw 3 times on it and it kind of works. So you really just need to run a longer range weapon. You almost always have to have a gun that can hit at range. You can't just run like an EVA 8 and an R9 or an EVA 8 and a Volt. Even though a Volt with a Bruiser is kind of okay, but it's just not what you need. You do need a gun that can hit a distance, because people will be picking and poking at you. They will be trying to get their shield up. They will be trying to get an early knock and then jump on you, you know. So you need to be able to put pressure on people far away, since there's a lot of open areas and it's very easy to see teams far away. And if they have a sniper, they'll be like just like going through your resources. So you really need to be able to put pressure on other teams to keep them away from you, you know? So really the long range meta is very strong on Olympus. When it comes to shotgun wise, I think really the EVA 8 has kind of transformed into the preferred shotgun. Massive's still good. I just really think the EVA 8 at this point, for me personally, which is crazy because I was all on the Massive train a few months ago, even after the nerf. But yeah, so for me, I think the EVA 8 has really taken control as the shotgun of choice. But I think a lot of it is just going to shift. So like primarily you're going to see a lot of R301s, Hemlocks, triple takes, charge rifles obviously. So really you got to run those longer range guns. For me, preferred loadouts that I use a lot are R301 with EVA 8, R301 with R99, R9 Hemlock. And those are really what I combine, mix and match those. For me, the R9 is personally just as good as the EVA 8 or any other gun because of how fast it is, and the Volt getting a slight nerf, if you guys didn't pay attention to that. I think the R9 is really good for me as someone that really likes it, but I personally always try and run R301 EVA 8, so that's kind of where I go. But again, like I said, the gun meta has really shifted towards longer to mid-range guns, so make sure you're always running a gun that you feel comfortable throwing 2 times or 3 times on guys. So now, for this point, let's talk about the beast that is Olympus, this map. So for a lot of players that maybe didn't play in Season 7, or just really weren't into it, this might be the first like big experience to Olympus that they've had in a more competitive setting. So it's a very different map from World's Edge and Kings Canyon. It has this interesting thing that I don't know if a lot of people noticed, but it has less POIs than the other 2 maps. So in case you guys haven't noticed, that's the reason why some teams have been contesting a lot. It's why you see a lot of teams in the dropship and they don't really know where they're going, is because the POIs are way more contested and the good areas are not as many. You know, you can't have, there's not 18 POIs, 19 POIs where every team can get a good area. You might have to contest for the good areas, whether it's, you know, gardens, solar array, bonsai, hydroponics. You will have to contest on this map. So I suggest you guys contest and be confident. So if you guys have been, you know, following along, you guys need to be confident. You guys are gonna have to drop on people, and you're gonna have to contest areas because there's not enough good loot for everybody. So if you guys have been feeling that like teams land late on you or teams don't really know where to go, it's because of that. So you might have to just pick a spot and just go for it and just try and win it. That's a lot of what I learned early on. Is I remember I was like, hey, the POI situation. So you will have to contest a little bit. I will throw up a screenshot / image on screen with my like colored in areas of where rotations on this map should never happen unless you really have to and there's no other way. I will throw it up somewhere here. But it's basically, don't ever go through Turbine, do not ever rotate through Hammond Labs area at all, and not the little like field under Bonsai Plaza, and also to the side of Solar Array. Those areas right there that you guys see color red are no-go zones. Don't ever rotate through there unless you really have to. I know I've had to go through the like little field under Bonsai a few times, and it's just like go. And I know you guys are gonna say, but what if I use the Trident? Let's get to the Trident, guys. The Trident is the exclusive thing of this map, the one vehicle. Tridents are okay. They're okay if you really are like far away from zone, really need to move, really need to just get to a good spot, or need to like avoid a team completely. They're okay. Don't abuse it. Don't go too far. Good teams will do a lot of damage to you, and they might even knock one of your teammates if you stay on it too long. It should be used for just a small rotation in an emergency situation. Like if you are finding yourself coming from hydroponics, trying to get, I don't know, to orbital cannon, and you have to go through that field, you use the Trident and you shoot your way across, and then you jump off. Because people will hear you, they will be ready, and it's just giving yourself away. So really just try and use the vehicle in an emergency situation, you know, in like a very necessary spot. I touch on this a little bit more in my top tips for Olympus, so I will leave a card for that somewhere here as well. So go check that video out with more like specific tips for Olympus. And moving on from this, we also have the Phase Runner. Phase Runner is also another topic I touch on this. Really, the only time you really want to use the Phase Runner is the exit that goes to Rift, since that's the only one that you can really control where you're coming down to, and you know you're not going to get beamed coming out of, versus the other side. So if you ever find yourself on that side of the map and need a quick rotation, take the one to Rift, and it's a very good way than having to go through Energy Depot late or through Gardens late, which are places that are very... There's usually people around those areas. So that's just another like high level play. Don't forget that that Phase Runner exit to Rift is there. So again, this map is very huge in scale. There's very high highs and very low lows. So sometimes some zones will be like, let's say the Bonsai Plaza, the one with the little ramps on the side. There's a lot of zones that end up there that teams can abuse up there. If you rotate in late, those teams will see you, they will shoot you down. There will be teams in other good positions that will shoot at you. So that's one of the ones where I would say like earlier, like teams playing edge that rotate into those zones, they will get punished. But again, you know, it's certain parts of this map, but there are those situations where that just happens. So, you know, if you know a zone is in those situations, just try and get there early. But, you know, just try and get yourself into the best spot whenever you can, depending on your play style, obviously. I'm not going to tell you guys to do something that goes against your nature. But when you do have those high positions, that is when you need to use it to punish the teams either rotating out in the open, not together, or rotating late. Because that's the one thing on this map, is that when you get high, you punish everyone around you guys. And when you're out in the open trying to rotate in late, just do your best, guys. There's nothing you can do on this map. Sometimes you're just going to get beamed. But that is really a lot of the little intricacies about Olympus as a map that I feel like sometimes aren't talked about. Really especially the POI situation and the heat map of the places you don't really want to go through because of all the constant third parties, especially at the Hammond Labs area. And some of these other places you just don't want to be at. So I hope this guys helps you get a better understanding of Olympus as a map and the nature of the beast. So now we're on to my favorite part of the video, Simba's hot take of the split. So what is my hot take? My hot take is this split is fun, dude. It's fun. What am I gonna say, man? After King's Canyon being such a bummer with the Revenant Octane, with like literally all the third parties, just like it felt like I was on edge all the time on every fight, and it was just like, ah. This is fun. It literally allows you to play in a variety of different manners, allows you to play in a more fast-paced, fun way, where you're also not like super duper third-partied all the time. The only real negatives that I've seen this split have come from the like PC portion, where the cheaters have just really taken a stranglehold on everything. So I hope Respawn can, you know, keep improving on the security, and some really like dumb nagging server issues on console. But really, like the game itself, you know, like the thing that we play is so much fun right now. I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah, it's just fast paced, it's fun, it's open, it's a bright fun map that I love exploring. The rotations, the fights, the zones, like I'm just really enjoying this. Maybe it's just because the drag of KC just wore me down, but Olympus has just been a breath of fresh air. Being able to play all these legends that maybe, you know, were played in a different style on KC is also fun. And it's just been great. I've been just having a blast, man. And sure, this map needs a few new POIs. Like I was mentioning earlier, the POIs need to be increased. So if they can redo a few sections to kind of improve the loot, make a few more POIs so that it doesn't feel like everyone's contesting a lot early on, I think that would make, like, you know, to where you can have like 18 teams kind of land confidently, kind of how like World's Edge is. If they can do that, I think Olympus will be ready for, you know, the comp scene for sure. And I think it's just going to make it an even more enjoyable map and give it some more like uniqueness to some areas that could use a little bit of magic. So that's really my hot take for this. I'm really positive about it. There's been a few issues that are kind of, I guess, more on Respawn with the cheaters and the server stuff. But like itself, the split is just a lot of fun. I hope you guys are also having fun with this. I know I've been having a lot of fun. I know you guys have been in stream and you guys have seen me having a lot of fun. So I hope that continues. And yeah, I hope everyone out here is continuing to get these dubs, guys. Like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section what's been your favorite part about this split. And just keep it locked to the channel, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you at the next video.